We'll go ahead and get started for Hands Around Chandler Park, typically known as Hands Around the Courthouse. I just want to thank everyone for coming today, from community members to donors to partnering agencies and everyone from in between. My name's Brittany and I'm the Associate Director of Victim Services. And today you'll hear from some of Victim Services staff along of Misty from DCFS. And so before we get started with that, I'll just go ahead and introduce our staff. We have Rosemarie. She is one of our DV children advocates. We have Kiera, our DV children counselors. Brecken, our preventionist. Misty, our DV adult counselor and case manager. Rocio, our limited English proficient people, advocate and counselor for adults. We have Jesslyn, one of our sexual assault counselors. We have Alyssa, another sexual assault adult counselors. Misty from DCFS. We have Brianna, she is our sexual assault advocate. We also have Tristan, another DV adult counselor and advocate. And then a few people who are not here. We have Debbie, who is our Director of Victim Services. We also have Danielle, who is our stalking advocate and another DV advocate. And Caitlin, who is our sexual assault counselor and advocate. And Angela, sorry about that. She is our training person, and she also enters all of our data and numbers into InfoNet. So whenever we see people, she gets all of our numbers into there. So lastly, before I pass it off to our first speaker, I would like to take 10 seconds of silence, as there is a report of child abuse made every 10 seconds. Thank you.
There's just a few stats that I want to share with you today. 1 in 7 children have experienced some form of abuse in the last year.
You have to talk really close.
Can you hear me now? Sorry. All right, let's start over. 1 in 7 children have experienced some form of abuse within the last year. On average, 1 to 4 girls and 1 to 13 boys will experience sexual assault before they turn 18. 93% of child sex abuse survivors know their abuser the time of the abuse. And lastly, 1 billion children globally are estimated to experience sexual abuse. Signs and symptoms of sexual abuse, and these are just a few because there are so many. The child is quieter than normal, clingier than normal, unusual or new fears of being alone or being with a person or a particular person, regressive behavior, eating, sleeping, or hygiene changes, self-harm, cutting, or risky behavior, acting out at school or at home. Lastly, I do want to end my part of this with a positive quote. Compassion and understanding are antidotes to stigma and shame. Let's cultivate a society that uplifts and supports survivors. Thank you.
My name is Brecken with WIRC. I am the preventionist here. As part of April being Child Abuse Prevention Month, I would really like to give you a few statistics. And as I read them off, I challenge you to really think about those numbers and what we can do as a community to change. More than 4 children die each day because of child abuse. Approximately 70% of children that die from abuse are under the age of 4. 1 in 15 children are exposed to intimate partner violence each year. And lastly, over 400 million kids under the age of 4 years old experience some kind of physical or psychological abuse from their parents. our wonderful person here in front of me is about to read a story. Who's going to do it?
We're going to have Misty from DCFS speak.
My name is Misty, as you heard. I am a public service administrator, and I am a supervisor of high-risk intact family services. My team services 8 counties, which includes McDonough. On behalf of DCFS, Director Heidi Miller, thank you to WIRC, Mayor Mike Inman, and our private agency partners, community leaders, and my colleagues at DCFS for all the work they do on behalf of the Illinois children and families. I also want to thank Governor Pritzker and the General Assembly for the funding they continue to provide that directly benefits child abuse prevention programs. Is everybody hearing me okay? I feel like it's cutting in and out. Okay. I guess I have to put it like up on my, I'm uncomfortable with that. Behind every report, every investigation, and every case file is a child, one who simply wants to feel safe. And that's why we're all here. This year's Child Abuse Prevention Month theme, Powered by Hope, Strengthened by Prevention, goes hand in hand with our department's vision, which is for every child and youth to grow and thrive in a family. We know that when parents are supported, their families are stronger and safer, and we also know that children do better when they are able to remain at home safely. It's an exciting time for DCFS as we are in the middle of rolling out several new initiatives that are making our vision a reality. For starters, we are using a new tool called the SAFE model to right-size our front door, meaning we are asking better targeted questions when families are first brought to our attention to identify truly high-risk cases and better focus our investigations. Simply put, we are keeping more children at home with their families because they are never entering the child welfare system in the first place. In the event that a child does enter our care, and this occurs in less than 4% of all cases, we make every effort to reunify them with their families as quickly as we can. When that is not possible, our goal is to keep the child in their community and school and connected to family through our guardianship and fictive kin programs. These programs are pathways to permanent homes for children that maintain their identity, their culture, and those essential relationships with their siblings, grandparents, extended family members, and other important people in their lives that they know, love, and trust. Many of you may have already heard about the KIND Act, which was signed into law by Governor Pritzker in February and will go into effect July 1st. Today, there are over 9,000 children and youth in our care who are living with relatives. But those relatives don't receive the same benefits as licensed foster caregivers due to outdated guidelines. This new law will provide increased benefits to relatives and fictive kin, making it easier for grandparents and other relatives to become certified caregivers for children and youth in our care, and creating a path for more youth to find permanent homes through guardianship. And of course, the best case scenarios, the ones all of us in child welfare work for, the ones that my team works for, are to keep families together so they never enter the child welfare system to begin with. We work with families to give parents the tools they need to succeed so their children can stay in their home. Last year, we served more than 4,000 families through our family preservation programs, enabling them to stay together. We also connected parents to counseling, substance abuse recovery, mental health, family advocacy centers, and other services so 5,374 children could remain home. I promised I practiced this. So of course we can't do any of this alone. Through our collaborations with our community partners, sister state agencies, and all of you here today, as well as our shared commitment to ensuring every child grows up in a safe and loving family, we will definitely succeed. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kiara. I am the Domestic Violence Children's Counselor, and I'm going to read a story about a brave grandmother who, instead of sitting in her pain of grief, she decided to use her voice for her grandkids. One of them who died to their injuries from child abuse. So I'm going to read her story, and I just advise everyone to really take a moment to listen and empathize with this story and realize that things like this do happen, but there's something we can do to prevent them, and there's something we can do to change this and keep it from keep happening. So I'm going to read the story and just really listen to it. This is Bonnie's voice. It's been so long since I sat by his side in the hospital. Of course, I knew something was wrong as I sat there. I saw fear on his face, the bruises on his body, and the healing cigarette burns on his hands. I only had one child. She was a beautiful little girl. She was the light of our eyes. We knew she had entered into a stormy marriage, for we brought her home several times in the 5 years the marriage lasted. We suspected heavy use of drugs, but in those 5 years, 3 beautiful, healthy children had been born. I loved them dearly, and they loved me. The children were 16 months, 3 years, and 4 years old. After their ordeal at the hospital, my grandson was placed in foster care for 3 weeks. He cried when they came to take him back to his mother. He told his foster mother, "My mama don't love me," and he begged to stay. I ached for his dilemma, but I was not physically able to care for him, and the courts seemed to believe that home was the best place for him. I knew better, and I told them so, but I was overruled. My instinct as a grandmother was not taken into account. I never saw Bubba again. When the little girl, my 16-month-old granddaughter, was hospitalized from a severe beating, her leg broken in 4 places, and her hand burned from the tip of her little finger to her wrist. They decided to start looking for Bubba. We learned that he had been killed, wrapped in a sheet, stuffed in a box, and dumped into the dismissal swamp 3 months earlier. My life turned into physical and mental chaos. My efforts to understand became a plea to stop child abuse. I tied a blue ribbon on my van antenna to make people wonder, why blue? I intend never to forget the battered, bruised bodies of my grandchildren. Blue serves as a constant reminder to me to fight for protection of our children. Join with Bonnie, join with me, join with Victim Services. Please wear the blue ribbon and tell people what it's about. Tell them that we can protect children if we work together. Thank you.
So now we'll go ahead and circle around the gazebo, and hopefully, we can make it all around, and we'll bring a blue ribbon, and that will be the conclusion of our event. So thank you all, and let's spread the awareness with blue. Well, we have now made it all around. So thank you all. Continue to spread blue for Child Abuse Prevention Month. Think about that story the rest of this month. If you see a child, if you see something going on, believe that child, see what you can do, give them the resources. We have a table, oh goodness, our table's blowing over. If you, take our hotline cards, take our poppets, give them little fidgets. We've got nail files, slip someone little things at school or whatever it is that you can do to help them. But always believe that person when you hear their story. So thank you so much for attending the event today. And we will do this again next year. Thank you. Woo-hoo.